Hey y'all, it is May the 4th, 2025. And y'all, real quickly, I just want to say, for whoever's interested, that I be focusing on some other things, right? And I have the intentions, of course, making a whole series. I don't know how many videos and hours it's going to take. A whole series being a director's cut of my documentary that I made 6 years ago regarding this here Parkland, or it's probably like 5 years ago when I had made it, or 5 or 6 years now. It's been a long time. I'm gonna get to doing that, but like I say, got some other priorities, like for example, as I've mentioned, the crypto trading and learning systems, how to systematically make money upon the crypto markets. It's like I've been almost slacking on that. Gotta put more emphasis on that. And that's what I just got done doing, some of that. Plan to do some more actually after this here little video of that I'm sharing with you. That, and I also ran 14.77 miles today, all right? Going David Goggins on them. Maybe not David Goggins, but putting some more emphasis on the Macho Madness. So that, amongst other things, all right? Looking into the music thing as well. So I am planning to make not only a second installment, but probably more so, probably like 6 installments of a director's cut series in regards to my Parkland documentary, and then probably touching on some stuff that wasn't even in the documentary. There's a whole mess of stuff outside of that documentary. This mad fishing suspect. And it was pretty much comical at the time. We had a lot of fun, and it was humorous, and it was tragic as well, and just very deceptive, and it was like a voodoo mind spell that they had put on us. Real quickly, I just want to show you something. You can find this on YouTube, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Animation. It's done by Sarin Gas Attack. And the thing is, you check out this guy's archive. I've known him for quite some time, and I think he does excellent work. Because you'll notice that on certain incidents, they like to give us animation or whatnot to show us what exactly might have happened, hypothetically, in their animation, with dots. I'm talking about sheriff's offices, I guess media outlets. They all try to make these animations. Sarin Gas Attack's actually pretty damn good at those. And I find them more comprehensive typically than the people who get paid for it. Alright, so I do believe Sarin Gas Attack needs to get paid for what he does here, his services. Alright, I'll play you a little bit. This is a little bit towards the end.
Follow him. 10 of the students
He's talking about Parkland.
The shooter fires at Rospierski and the fleeing students, injuring Kyle Lehman and Mary Kabachenko, and killing Jamie Gutenberg, who makes it into the stairwell but collapses, and Peter Wang, who held the door open for his classmates. Meadow Pollock, who was injured, moves towards Kara Lawford and presses her body against Lawford. The shooter moves to the alcove of room 1249, shooting Pollock and Lawford simultaneously, killing them both. The shooter moves to the alcove of the men's restroom, shooting Joaquin Oliver again, killing him. The shooter moves farther down the hallway. He attempts to enter the stairwell, but Rospierski was preventing the door from being opened. The shooter leaves the stairwell area and enters the teacher's lounge. The shooter attempts to shoot out of the windows, which overlook a lot of the campus, as well as students who are evacuating from the earlier fire alarm. However, because the glass is storm resistant, the bullets don't travel well, and nobody is injured. The shooter leaves the teacher's lounge and moves towards the stairwell. At the same time, Rospierski runs down the stairwell to the second floor, where he conceals himself in a locked room. The shooter enters the stairwell and sets down his firearm, as well as his vest carrying ammunition. The shooter then runs down the stairs and exits out the first floor hallway doors. In total, he has killed 17 people and injured an additional 17 people.
Alright, so I just wanted to play you that. I find sarin gas attacks, animations, and I've seen plenty of animations regarding Parkland. I find it the best because he's saying whose name's who, he's got everybody figured out and stuff like that. It's pretty good. Oh shoot, it's got it all sideways. Alright. Thing is, but what I might want to point out is something that I noticed there at the very end. In this animation, I don't know how accurate this is. Perhaps it is. Check this out. Alright, did you see that? There's Nicholas Cruz and he's leaving out the main doors. I'll show you again.
The stairwell and sets down his firearm, as well as his vest carrying ammunition. The shooter then runs down the stairs and exits out the first floor hallway.
See, he's going to run down the stairs, right? And the stairwell, from what I understand, does have a door going to the outside of the building. Alright. But perhaps he does not go outside that door and instead uses the main door.
Doors. In total, he has killed 17 people and injured an additional 17 people.
No, okay, perhaps because it was a dead body, maybe blocking that door from outside of the stairwell. So he uses the main exit right there, alright? So the thing is, I left a comment down here because I just actually only recently became aware of this particular animation. So upon reviewing all sort of different comments that were in the comments section, basically everybody's believing that Nicholas Cruz did it and how hard of a person he is and this and that, and that's the kind of stuff they're saying. Just as for anybody who might be poking around, I left a comment that said everyone in this comment section is under a spell, witchcraft, voodoo, propaganda. And then I said, ask yourself, how is it possible that Cruz could leave out of the building without being seen? All right, I want to think about that here for a second. Was he with other students? How? He allegedly just shot up the school. All right, to which I did get a reply, and I could have sworn I replied back, but I don't know if those are visible or how that works. But I'm pretty sure I replied back already. All right, I just don't see my reply back, but it says, what? This is from Sarin Gas Attack, the man running this channel, and I appreciate his response, but he said, what? He was unarmed when he left, and almost certainly left via the stairwell that just minutes prior he shot several students at, and of course there was no witnesses. Yes, of course, if they're dead, they're not going to witness on him, I'm sure. Alright, but what I actually meant, and I put it out in the documentary. I could go to it right now, but I don't really feel like it. There's another animation that's in my documentary that it shows that there was actually way up there, way outside of the scene right there, there were sheriff's deputies on the scene on that exact side of the building. You can see maybe the building had obstructed their view a little bit right there. But Nicholas Cruz, as you've seen at the end of the animation, he leaves out the building through the doors that are apparently on the west side of the building. Now, originally, Sheriff Scott Israel said that Nicholas Cruz ran outside of the east side of the building. That's the opposite side. It's only two entrances and exits, the west side and the east side. Originally, Sheriff Israel, he did say out of the east side, But then days later, it changes. It changes to the west side. And the thing is, I'll go ahead and I'll just accept that. It's very unacceptable, to be honest, but I'll accept that. I'll accept that, bodies might be here when you said they were over there. I might accept that you said someone was shot on a floor, and then later on said nobody was shot on that floor. And you totally left out floors and in your testimonies in front of the public. But then later on, you were like, oh yeah, and I forgot people were shot up on the third floor. I messed up. I can accept that even though it's unacceptable. Right? But my question, what I was asking him in response, sarin gas attack, was more so, okay, he left outside of that building. There were sheriff's deputies that were right there on that side that could have seen, but they didn't see. They heard all sort of shots fired, did nothing, hid behind their cars. All right? Isn't that tragically cowardly? All right? According to the scene down more than this direction, you got Scott Peterson, and he's hunkered down. He doesn't know where the heck was going on. So he's over here in the campus. Sheriff's deputies over there outside of the scene where you can't see it right now. But they're in the parking lot. Between those guys, nobody could possibly see Nicholas Cruz, the suspect. He must have been alone. There couldn't have been nobody leaving outside with him, so he was alone. They were calling for a lockdown. He escapes with the greatest of ease out of that door. And then apparently he runs to the tennis courts or something like that. Originally, Scott Israel thought he was running from the east side. Why he thought that, I have no clue why he thought that. Turns out he was leaving out the west side of the doors. And then he goes to the tennis courts. We're going to get up out of here. We'll talk about it more later. But what I'm so curious about is Nicholas Cruz. He makes a break for it so fast you can't see him, like he's a damn blur, right? Nobody sees him leaving outside of the building, even though there's sheriff's deputies over there. Got a pretty perfect vantage point, but they don't see it. All right, he must have been a blur. He must have been running fast, right? Okay, so, because nobody ever really clarified this, but Nicholas Cruz, he was all up in this school going from floor to floor, murking on people, shooting them all up. He was either putting a mask on or not putting a mask on, putting a gas mask on. Maybe that didn't even exist. But people seen it, but it never existed. He's doing all this, changing wardrobes, shooting people up, reloading, this and that. All that. He was able to then disrobe, I guess, from whatever. We don't know. He left a balaclava. I swear, this is one of the stories that we were told. He left a balaclava and his guns and his ammunition. Left him. Why? Who's to say why? Why would he do that? We'll talk about motivation more so on the next installment of the director's cut, because that's definitely coming up. Motivation. He didn't have no motivation. Why, if he just shot up the school, would he try to leave out the doors and not bring his guns and ammunition? Shouldn't he expect to get shot down? No, he thought he would just moonwalk out of the doors. No one's going to see him, and he's just going to leave his stuff. He's going to race. He's going to run all the way through the tennis courts, where somehow, some way, allegedly, he comes to find Alexa Midnick and some other class, mixes in with them, because the teacher just doesn't notice that he mixes in with them on this fire drill, because they're leaving out the school because of a fire drill. Alexa Midnick says she heard shots fired while they're leaving out from a fire drill. And Nicholas Cruz is right there. Even though the school is supposed to be on lockdown because it's getting shot up. So, but Alexa talks to Nick, and perhaps even other people talk to Nick, and he's not sweaty or nothing. Like, he's not looking suspicious at all. How how is he not sweaty or nervous, not looking suspicious at all? How is that even possible? But it happened. And so that's why I'm like saying like the timeline really doesn't add up. When you think about it, we're never given no evidence to include any video footage beyond the little tiny sliver that we were given. And then we were given various animations that say wildly different things. Like, no matter what's my theory, and I don't even I don't have a concrete theory, but no matter what's my theory, that shit's all unacceptable and very egregious. But, anyways, I'll holler at y'all a little bit later, and I appreciate all y'all, and I'll holler at y'all a little bit later.